I have a little bit of preamble to this, just because I kind of want people to know all the, some of the shows that you worked on in your
Sure.
46 plus years. Like know some of the notable ones. I didn't list them all, but Barney Miller, The White Shadow, MASH, Taxi, Family Ties, Fame, Night Court, MacGyver, Remington Steele, Scarecrow, Mrs. King, Growing Pains, Matlock, and then LA Law, Third Rock from the Sun, Sliders, NYPD Blue, Dawson's Creek, and of course, Hill Street Blues and Beverly Hills Bunts, Bay City Blues. My question was going to be, it seems like you've done a fair amount of police dramas. What are your thoughts about the acting challenges on those type of shows versus something like Babylon 5, the science fiction show, and probably Hill Street Blues would kind of be the
Cam, you know what? The answer to that, as a preamble, I'll say this. When you first get there and you're waiting to get into, do some work, I started in a comedy group called the Village Idiots, and we were down at the Comedy Store on Sunset and out in where UCLA is. Anyway, we were working every day in those clubs, and that showcased who I was. So the first jobs I really started to get were more funny jobs, because they saw me as a comedian at the Comedy Store. So I did Barney Millers. I did 2 Barney Millers, and people saw that. So the real turn was, how did I get to a place where I could start doing more serious work, for lack of a better word, or more drama? And that was that was a breakthrough. Producers had to, get by. Oh yeah, he's the funny guy who was part of the Village Idiots or on Barney Miller, and then slowly let me in on, what else? More serious dramas. I was lucky enough that in my training I had done that. We go back to theater for a minute, right? And I had done both of those in college, and I felt confident about both of those. So that worked out, really good for me in the sense that. Once they started the first show I did for Stephen Bochco, who did Hill Street Blues, and he was a really successful TV producer. But he cast me in a show that James Earl Jones was doing, and it was called Paris. It was James Earl Jones' series, and it was really about him as a cop and a teacher. And I got to play his good friend. And I said to Stephen Bochco, well, gee, I'm happy to do this, but what do you want this character, what are you looking for this character to look like or do? And he said, you don't have to do anything, Peter. You just got to do you. That's all. And, you're the character we would like. We like the character to look like you. We want you to, we want to wear you want to wear your clogs. Wear your clogs. I was an old hippie. It's about you. And that was a great lesson to me as a young actor about TV drama in Hollywood, which is they're looking for honesty. They're looking for you to open up who you are and to understand the script, but they don't need a lot of character. Of course, by the time I got old, I was yearning to do character again. So Hill Street Blues was, a really interesting character, slimy little snitch that he was. Yeah. Rondo, obviously, a pretty interesting character. But very often you're just learning, Cam, to do who you are and funnel it into the work and see where it matches up to you, who you are.